Now, I'm here. Sorry about that kerfuffle. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is with you. Hey, how are you? Welcome to day 4 of Reset You for 2022. Fiona here, delighted to be with you. Only 9 minutes late. Sorry about that. I had a bit of a kerfuffle. Where does the time go? So great to see you here. And here's that question for you before we get into today. This is the year 2. Finish that sentence off. Fill in the blanks. This is the year 2. What is this the year for you to fill in the blanks? Okay. Feel free to put that there. I will see it. Um, so exciting times. Here's where we're going today. We're going with truly what it takes to make any circumstances, any economy, any conditions work. So, right now, we're in a particular set of circumstances, particular set of conditions. Now, some people are going to wait for a better time. They're going to wait for these circumstances and conditions to change before they do all those things they want to do. And every time we have a crisis, we have tough times, there's always a choice to be made. And that choice is to be either to run with that notion of, hey, let's wait till circumstances change, conditions get better. That puts you in a place of a victim because those outside events and circumstances are shaping your destiny. You're allowing them to shape your destiny. That puts you in the place of a victim. It robs you of power. The other alternative, and there's only two, the other alternative is to be a victor, is to be a victor. And that requires you to have a particular perspective. And that perspective says, I will look for the opportunity in this misfortune. Remember that wonderful quote from Napoleon Hill. We love Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And he said, opportunity often comes in the seeds of misfortune, right? And here's what I think. I would invite you to take on that approach to life so that you're always looking for the seeds of opportunity in every situation. Should that be called a crisis? Should that be called tough times, such as we're in now? Because here's the thing, in every crisis, in every set of tough times, there will be people who will emerge stronger and better. And that begins with a decision. It begins with a decision. And I invite you to make that decision now. And if that is the case, and if you have already taken that decision, good on you, good on you. And if you'd like to strengthen that connection, that decision, put it in the thread right now. Post it. Victor, Victor, Victor. It's a decision. It's a choice. That shapes everything. Because when you have that perspective of, it's down to me. If it's to be, it's down to me. And whatever happens, I'm going to make these circumstances work. Whatever happens. When you take that perspective, you open yourself up to all those dormant faculties within you. That unlimited creativity that is within you starts to bubble through. It's the only time it starts to bubble through, when you invite it, when you allow for it. So taking that decision, making that choice is what creates that bubbling up. Like I mentioned the other day, my lovely client, Emma, whose theatre company was closed down overnight in March of 2020, literally overnight. No more ticket sales, no more shows, no income. Now, that's pretty shocking, especially when you're just not prepared for it. You weren't seeing it coming. Took a couple of days for Emma to get over that. If she's here, I salute you, Emma. You're the best. I love you. But within a couple of days, an idea had bubbled to the surface that actually had been at the back of her mind for probably a couple of years. And that idea was to take her acting skills and share them, teach them to people like you and me who are not trained performers, but suddenly overnight had to perform on camera, had to get on Zoom, had to connect with our clients and our customers and our people on screen. So we had no choice but to get comfortable, get good, to be able to connect with clients and customers online. So she offered that service. That became the consultancy that she has today, which is fabulous. And she runs alongside her theatre company, Screen Presence. It grew, it developed into a full on business where she's teaching her how to use those acting skills in everyday life as well, so that you perform at your best in all situations, regardless of how you're feeling. So, perspective, there's three things that it really takes to come through a tough time and succeed and come through stronger and better than before. Perspective. And these are attributes that are common to all dynamic people who succeed in any circumstances, in all conditions, in every time, and all times. And I think that's the only way to be in life, because to be any other way is to give your power away to some outside force, to a force outside yourself, to give your authority away to a source outside yourself. I can't imagine that you would ever want to do that. I can't imagine that you would be that person. So, in order to really empower yourself, you get to make a decision that you are one of these people, that you are one of the empowered. If that's you, could you put empowered in the thread so I can see it? I don't doubt for a second you've already made that decision. This is you strengthening and affirming, confirming that decision to yourself, your higher self, Lord knows the universe. Perspective. What's the second thing it takes in these times and any times? It takes, especially if you're in business, it takes you to be able to solve a problem. Because in tough times, people still spend money, but they become scared about spending money because in these times there's a great deal of fear in the environment. There's a great deal of fear mongering. So, what happens when people become fearful? What do you think happens? They contract, they hunker down. And one of the things that happens is they don't want to spend money. Now, if you're in business, if you're here to serve, you need clients and you need cash flow, right? So, what happens when people get scared with spending money? They become, it's not that they don't spend money, but what happens is they become more discerning. They become much more discerning. Now, I saw this firsthand in the last crisis, in the last global crisis, 2008. You're probably all too young to remember that. It was something called what was it, the credit crunch. Overnight, the world changed. Overnight, the world breathed in and forgot to breathe out again. People got scared. Now, what happened is this. At that point, I had this business where, I had been in the press a lot. Um, I had had magazine columns and newspaper columns. I was on radio and TV a lot, which meant that exposure meant that I had a constant stream of clients coming to me wanting my help. I had a team of coaches. I had um, online programs that we sold, all of that. It was thriving. All I had to do was just sit and handle the inquiries that came in, super easy, and then hand out clients to my team, or I would take some myself. What happened was that stopped overnight, literally stopped overnight. No emails, no inquiries, no nothing. I called up my assistant and I said, "Is the website down? Is there something?" She said, "No, it's up. I'm looking at it. It's fine." I said, "Well, check the emails. Is there something going on with the emails? Because there's no emails coming in. There's something going on." And she said, "No, no, no. It's all working. There just aren't any emails." What happened was that people got scared and they stopped spending money on anything that they did not perceive as a problem. This is very important for any one of you who are in business or who want to be in business, who have a message to share with the world, and who have a business that they want to build, want to have a thriving business. Now, if that's you, put yes so I can see it. You're that person. You want to serve, and you also get to make a business work, because if your business isn't working, you're not serving. Means you haven't got clients. So the time, in a time like this, when people will buy what you're offering, will say yes to what you do, is when you are clearly helping to solve a problem that they have. I put it to you that when you do that, you will have a thriving business. When you do not do that, you're missing the mark. You're not hitting on what's important to others. So if we dial it back to 2008, it took me a while, I mean, like a couple of months, maybe 3 months, to truly figure out what people would actually value enough to pay for. Because everything that I had been offering before that was clearly not urgent enough for them to pay for. So what I had been offering before that was lovely general life coaching stuff, right? I wrote the book, Be Your Own Life Coach. So it was self-esteem, self-confidence, getting clear on your goals, making those goals come true, those dreams, all of that lovely stuff. Now, that sold beautifully. I mean, I had a thriving six-figure business selling all of that, offering all of that before 2008. Overnight, it stopped. And I'm sharing this with you, and it's very important for you to get this. If you get this, and you get it right, you will have a thriving business. Sorry, I'm sometimes distracted because I can see a van and I don't want to have to go and collect a flipping parcel like I did yesterday. So, life these days. So, if you get this, you've got the basics for a thriving business to be able to attract people and serve people and do the work that you want to do in the world. Is this making sense? Yes or no? If you don't get this, if you miss the mark, it's hard. It's very hard because I spent 3 months trying to figure out what on earth people would value enough to pay for. And I changed what I did. And when I changed what I did and I got it right, people bought. The same people who were saying no were now saying yes. What was the difference? I was offering them a way out of their problem. I changed the way I positioned myself a little bit. I became much more of a mentor than a general coach. I offered to show people how I had got into business quickly, attracted clients, got into the press, got book deals, all of that good stuff. that coaches and consultants and people in business valued. How do I know that they valued it? They paid for it. That's how I knew. So within 3 months, I had sold 22 programs at 6K, and I was back into a six-figure business. We're in similar times today. We are. People are scared, and people are concerned about their cash. And actually, I don't have a problem with that. And if you're in business, you can't afford to have a problem with that either. Because what happens is you get to be better and you get to serve at a higher level. You get to serve people where they're at. You get to address that problem. And in a way, it gets you out of your ego. See, a lot of people are broke because they come from an ego place. They don't even know they're doing it, but they are. What do I mean by that? I mean, when you just want to do what you want to do, and even if nobody's buying or paying any attention, you're still going to keep doing that thing. Does that make sense? It's like they'll come around. Mm, okay. They'll get it. They're just not where I am now. No, no. To me, I mean, you can do that. People do that. They don't make any money. Hopefully, they've got a decent job or somebody who supports them. At the time, here's the thing, the only reason I figured out how to serve people and see that they would pay for a problem that they perceived was important. The only reason I figured that out was because I had to. I had no other career to go back to. I never had another career. And I've since spoken to a lot of coaches who were around at that time, and they went back into careers after, in some cases, they had huge amounts of debts. And in all honesty, I think I probably am the only coach still working today, at least with a decent six-figure business, who was around before that credit crunch. Problem, perspective, problem. You must be helping to solve a problem that truly exists for your people. When you do, you will thrive. Um, so my client, Lauren, she had a thriving business up until the 18th of March 2020 as a hypnotherapist. Thriving business in a clinic, thriving practice. The clinic closed overnight. No clients, no clinic, no cash flow. What we saw, what she saw, was the problem that had come about suddenly for a great many women in their 30s. IVF had been suspended. And for a great many women, they felt they were losing their last chance of becoming a mother and starting a family. And there was no telling when IVF would be, brought back in again. Is this making sense, guys? Give me a yes if this is making sense. So what we did was we created what I call a client magnet. So I'm going to be teaching about a client magnet in January, so look out about that. Client magnet is a way of showcasing what you do. It's a way of drawing to you, magnet, drawing to you the people that you want to reach. It's a great alternative to paid ads. It's actually more powerful. And it lets you connect with the people that you truly want to help and serve. So we created this client magnet. I wrote it for her, and it was about, what to do when IVF is suspended. And she spoke to, I think, 6 people in 1 week. And she spoke to 10 people. And out of those 10 people, 6 people bought her offer, which meant that she was, I'm just trying to think exactly what it was now. It was around the £5,000 mark that she made in those couple of days. So the opportunity was in the misfortune, was in the problem that had been created. She was serving people, helping them solve a problem that really, really mattered. And when you're doing that, people don't hesitate. It's remarkable how people find money when they really want to, when it's important for them. So, perspective, problem. What is the third thing? What's the third thing? Just want to see some of your comments there. What's the third thing that you got to have? Oh, thank you so much, Thornton. Pearls. They are pearls. That's the absolute truth. That is the absolute truth. From experience and my experience and others, I love to give you stuff that is proven, that is tested, not on animals, on live humans. So the third thing that's important, that's crucial for you to really thrive in these times and all times, is what I call people. People, going with the P's today. You remember that great phrase? I think it was Jim Rohn and Les Brown. He said it as well. You are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Your environment, the environment that you are in, is either helping you grow or keeping you stuck. The people that you spend time with, the people that you allow to influence you, are crucial. Some would say it's actually the most important factor. Some would say it's the most important factor in shaping your life. And Jim Rohn actually said if you look at the 5 people that you spend the most time with and you add up their annual income and you take the average figure, you're probably in that ballpark. Don't do it now, do it later. It's a bit scary. Um, so you need to surround yourself, you need to put yourself into an environment of possibility, an environment of growth, an environment where people are stretching themselves. They are driven, they are dynamic, and to be frank, they're going places. I mean, isn't that why you're here today? You're that person. It's not like you're not appreciative of what you have. It's not that you're not grateful for everything that you have, but you want to live your biggest life. You want to bring everything out to fully express yourself. It's not about making, it's not necessarily or just about making more money. It's about living the fullest life and contributing and making a difference and being all that you're here to be and doing all that you could do. It's about you, the very best version of you coming out. You have to consciously put yourself into an environment of people who are living like that. And it's the mastermind principle. Napoleon Hill said that the mastermind was the secret ingredient, the mastermind principle for people's success. So when he did the Think and Grow Rich book, you probably know the story, but essentially he was commissioned by Andrew Carnegie, who was the first billionaire in America. Scottish. I'm not Scottish, but I'm just saying Scottish. Um, and he commissioned him to sort of do like a survey, to go and find out what were the common threads, the common ingredients to the top millionaires in America at the time. And he spoke to 500 people. And there were a number of things. It's a great book if you haven't read it. Think and Grow Rich. It really is fabulous. I love it. It's just so ahead of its time. So one of the common threads was the mastermind principle, where they came together in a small group and they empowered each other. They became more powerful as a result of that surge of power. And Andrew Carnegie said it was his number one secret for success. So if you haven't had, maybe in the last 12 months, the breakthrough, the results, the particular success that you really wanted, and now is crucial for you, Now is crucial. You have to make 2022 different. It's got to be the year, the year. Then I put it to you that these are the three strategies to consider. And this environment one is crucial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on a call. I can probably myself do about 10, and I have my team who will step in and do everyone who comes after that. So after this, I'll put a link to my diary in here. And if this is sounding good to you, just put my name in the thread, and I'll know that you're one of the first people to respond. So I'll get a call with you, and I'll just explain to you some of the things that we're doing and to offer environment and this type of up leveling. So if you put my name in this thread, I'll at least know that you're one of the first people to respond. And I'm going to put the link to my diary in here. I'm going to talk to the first 10, 15 people. My team are going to step in and do the others. So here's the thing, whether you work with me as your coach and you step into the environment that I create. So for the past 6 months, I've been running just quietly a program that puts people into a very concentrated environment, and they meet as a very small group with one of my coaches or myself. They meet in a very small group of just 5 people, and that 5 people is their power team. So think about this. Think about if you had clear direction on exactly what to do in your business, clear strategies, and you had the support of a great coach, and you also were in a power team, what I call a power team. So you're part of a very small mastermind who are rooting for you like day and night. You're supporting them and they're supporting you. You are never alone. Because let me tell you that the enemy for the entrepreneur, the enemy for a driven person is isolation. Now, if we were ever in any doubt about that, we saw that from lockdown, this thing that they invented called lockdown, right? We saw that had disastrous consequences for people's state of mind, for their mental health, for their motivation, for their spirit. And what happens when people feel isolated is they close down and they become fearful. And when you become fearful, that part of your brain, the front cortex, that is there to help you be resilient and resourceful and see answers to problems and solutions to challenges, it just closes down. It's just not available for you. So the absolute enemy for any one of us, especially, you, me, we're thriving people, is isolation. Isolation. So it may be that if it may be that this is the missing ingredient for you. It may be that this is the missing ingredient for you. Because if you're trying to do all of this on your own, that's a lonely, lonely path. That's a lonely path. It's not an effective strategy either. If you look at truly successful people, and by the way, when I use that phrase, I just mean people who are making an impact in the world, people who are making a difference, people who are fulfilling their potential and doing what they really are here to do or want to do in this lifetime. Those people are not doing it on their own. Those people are not isolated. Those people have good people around them. In every case, they have a coach, at least one, who sees their blind spots, who makes them more powerful, the most powerful version of themselves. So somehow, some people got the idea that it was a sign of weakness to not do everything on their own and that they should and they must. That's just not true, guys. So Here's the thing. I'm being really honest with you here when I share with you what I know that works. Now, I urge you to consider this. And I'm not attached, my darlings, to you necessarily, coming to me. Of course, I want the best for you and I want to support you. But what I would say to you is if it's not me, if for some reason you think, gosh, it's not Fiona, that's okay. Go find what I'm suggesting somewhere, make sure that person that you're whose help you're getting is a mentor. And what I mean by that is someone who has the results that you want and can therefore show you how to get similar results. So I'm just going to come on and see your comments if this is all making sense. Thank you, Anne, Sarah, Bev, lovely to see you there, and Kylie and Danny. Solutions to the problems, 100%. It's very important that we're clear what their problems are. Otherwise, you're going to miss the mark. You're always going to be missing the mark. And I didn't get it right overnight, I'll be honest with you. But when I did, I got overnight results. I got overnight results. You know, this stuff is not complicated, but you got to get it right. Got to get it right. Hi, Moira. Lovely to see you there. Moira, lovely to see you there. April, thank you, Thornton. Great. Kylie, I'm empowered and affirming to the universe that I'm ready to move forward. Yes, yes, yes. And here's the thing, my darlings. You get to decide whether this is the year that is different for you. And you know as well as I do that if you want something that's different for you, fill in the blanks. What have you got to do? Someone put it in the chat box. And whoever that is definitely going to be on my 10 or 15 list. To get a different result, what do you have to do? You have to, 3 words, do something different. Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So here's why success is important, in my opinion. Here's why getting the results that you want are important. It's because if it's really important for you and you don't get those results, you don't get that success, it could actually, yeah, it could actually then become part of your identity. That identity of being disappointed, of not having made it work, made life work in the way that that is important for you. That is important for you. That's why it's so important for you not to give up on yourself, not to give up on what's important for you. Don't give up on that. Don't give up on that. And what I encourage you to do is look at the strategies that you may have used that may not have worked or been successful. Does that make sense? It's so important that you don't give up on you because you will walk around with an air of disappointment and resignation and it coulda, shoulda, right? You don't want that for yourself. And here's the thing, if you have children, you definitely do not walk around. You definitely do not want to walk around with that feeling. You don't. You don't. Because remember, our children look at us and they see themselves. And it's not what we say that has the impact, it's who we're being. It's who we are being. So if you want to influence people, and if you want to influence young people, and if you have children, who you are being, not what you say, is what gives out the influence. It's what is influential. So don't worry Do not worry that things haven't worked out for you, perhaps in the way that you wanted to. Don't worry about that. Do not make it personal. What I would say to you is examine your strategies. Get good help on the strategies. So if I speak with you, with your permission, I'll be really honest and get you clear on the direction for you that you should be going in. And when I say should, what I mean is that it's aligned for you, that's aligned. Because the truth is, sometimes I come across people and what they're aiming for is just not aligned. It's not aligned to their natural talents. It's just not. By the way, I've done this before. Please don't think I'm, perfect or I'm speaking with some moral high ground here. I spent 3 years going broke, coming from a place of ego, losing a lot of money and having to move out of my beautiful house in London um, because I was following a path that was not aligned to my natural talents. So I know what that looks like. And one pays a cost for that. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's all good. It's all learnings. But if I can help you, avoid losing money or show you how to make more money and avoid taking 3 years to get a lesson, it took me 3 years. Um, I decided I wanted to be a fiction writer, a novelist. It took me 3 years to realize that's not playing to my strengths. That's not my part in life, the place for me to play. I'm now slightly distracted because there's a van outside and my cat's meowing like crazy to get in. So I'm going to have to go in a second. So, look, ensure that what you want to do is aligned with your natural talents, God given talents that you have, and that beautiful combination that you have, and that only you have. And then make sure that you have the right strategies and make sure that you have the right guidance, support. That's not a sign of weakness. That's a very smart strategy. And everything that I share with you is what I do myself. I pay a lot of money to be in a mastermind group full of people who are very driven and very dynamic and, doing great things in the world. So that works for me. It keeps my motivation very high, keeps me on my toes, quite frankly. Um, so if this is making sense, darlings, great. Lovely to see you, Andrea and Kami. I hope I'm saying that right, Kami. Do something different, 100%, Sarah. Don't make this personal. Don't make your results personal. Don't make your results personal. Be objective. What do I get to do differently? What did not work? It's a huge mistake and a huge disservice to yourself to make it personal. That will make it very hard for you to pick yourself up, get the lessons, and move on fast, recover fast. Because if you make it personal, you drag your morale down, you drag your motivation down, and you got to somehow get yourself up again. And sometimes people don't get themselves up again. Sometimes people do not get themselves up again. And that's pretty tragic. That's pretty tragic. So don't do that. That's madness. That is the way to madness. See the strategies and see where the strategies get to change. See the support structure that you have in place in your life or not, and get that support structure in place. So you're setting yourself up for success. You're setting yourself up for success. Because look, you don't want to be setting yourself up for perhaps more of the same if you want something different. You don't want to be setting yourself up for disappointment. You don't want to be here in a year's time going, ah! You don't want to, right? Exactly. So be objective, look at the strategies, listen to what I'm sharing with you today. And those are the strategies you've got to have in place to succeed. 100%. All right, my darlings, I better go. It's a beautiful sunny day in Somerset. I know I always say that, but it actually is most of the time. I'm going to put a link to my diary in here as soon as I come off here. And I'm going to let my cat in before he drives me insane and my neighbors insane. Have an amazing day. And look, I'll be talking to you very soon. And I'll be here tomorrow at the same time. All right, my darlings, have a wonderful day. Lots of love for now. Okay.